Recognizing and admitting the defeat to Sony and Nintendo in the console war, Xbox and Microsoft know they have to come up with something new and disruptive to continue being a major player in the gaming industry. And since Microsoft has injected huge investments into Xbox, the strategies of both brands are more intertwined than ever. Watch until the end to know everything about Microsoft's future plans for Xbox. It is well known that the OS used on the Xbox consoles is based on the Microsoft Windows Core. And according to reports, Microsoft and Xbox are finally going to capitalize on the advantages offered by that fact to expand the Xbox platform and make it the platform of choice for gamers. The strategy to achieve that is twofold. In the short term, the first part is focusing on the software. As soon as this year, Microsoft will be releasing a gaming-centered OS based on the Xbox interface, which will be installed on third-party handhelds like the next Asus ROG Ally, Lenovo Legion Go, and other yet-to-be-announced devices. Think of this OS as a bloat-free, lightweight desktop Windows with an Xbox launcher-like interface. Let us call it the Xbox OS for the rest of this video. The objective for Microsoft is to compete with SteamOS by leveraging the better compatibility of the Windows platform. According to various rumors and reports, it will be possible to seamlessly access and play games from your Xbox library, but also from your Steam library, and even use Xbox Game Pass Cloud or GeForce Now for cloud gaming. All thanks to this OS supporting native Windows apps. Some questions remain to be answered, however. It is still unclear how exactly this will integrate with the Xbox Game Pass, or if it will affect the different tiers of the subscription service. Will we get a Platinum tier, allowing us to basically connect and sync our Steam library in our Xbox library and vice versa? A system resembling what you would do using GeForce Now, for example. It is also unclear if Microsoft will lock this new OS to certain hardware, or if it will allow users to install it on any compatible gaming PC, effectively allowing players to build their own Xbox machines. So still some uncertainties and wild theories that will hopefully be cleared during the next Developer Direct, or later this year. But regardless, all of this sounds amazing if Microsoft and Xbox are able to deliver. I personally believe that by making this Xbox OS available on handhelds so soon, Microsoft is hoping to fill the void left by the lack of first-party hardware, all the while gathering useful data for consumers, which in turn will help them finalize the exact form of the next generation Xbox console. Which leads us to the more mid to long-term part of the strategy, focusing on the hardware side. Assuming the usual Microsoft pattern when it comes to reveal and release dates, the long-awaited Xbox handheld will be officially announced December of this year and released November next year, right before Christmas. It will obviously use the Xbox OS and integrate Steam and GeForce Now natively. It will most certainly rock an 8 to 9 inches LCD touchscreen and have a design very close to that of an Xbox controller with the addition of a small touchpad, like what is offered by the Steam Deck. In terms of performance, it is rumored that it will be slightly superior to the current Xbox Series S thanks to a more recent AMD APU with improved AI-based frame generation capabilities developed by Microsoft, since AMD just announced that it will be keeping its FSR4 technology exclusive to its own graphic cards. The logical and most common assumption is that Microsoft will announce and release the next generation of living room console at the same time as the handheld, which will give them a full year head start on Sony and its PlayStation 6, which is rumored to release in 2027 or even later. This lines up quite well with some informed rumors claiming that Microsoft is working on a new console named Xbox Prime, which will be released in 2026. I personally don't subscribe to this theory for two main reasons. First, developing and releasing a new console is complex and usually takes 5 to 7 years from start to finish. And since you can bet your house that the specification of the initially planned next-gen Xbox console have been scrapped in 2024, when the utter annihilation of the Xbox Series consoles became obvious, it will take at least 4 years before the rumored Xbox Prime console finds its way into gamers' hands, which doesn't line up with the 2026 release date. Second, Microsoft and Xbox have repeatedly stated that they are no longer interested in the console war. Competing with and risking another defeat to Sony and Nintendo, especially in the absence of a technological leap when it comes to graphics, makes no sense from a business perspective. It makes more sense that Microsoft will try to salvage the Xbox brand by adopting the "powered by Xbox" strategy, rather than risk tarnishing the brand even more with yet another underwhelming hardware release. Which leads me to the conclusion that Xbox Prime designates a new concept similar to the Steam machines that Valve tried to release a decade ago, meaning that the next generation of living room Xbox hardware will be third-party gaming machines, not to say PCs, with Xbox OS installed and the proprietary Xbox RF connectivity for the controller and headset integrated by default. Microsoft could eventually release a cheap first-party hardware with upgradable internals to stimulate the market and encourage adoption, but chances are it will not be needed. Before watching the rest of the video, a quick thank you, and please like and subscribe to the channel. I honestly like the idea of gamers having more choice and flexibility, and I am looking forward to seeing if Microsoft will deliver on this ambitious strategy. However, I am worried about how this will pan out. What Microsoft is doing with Xbox represents the biggest change in the history of the gaming industry, not only for Xbox as a brand and business, but also for players and fans. Betting on players changing their habits is always a risk. Not to mention that despite the reassuring public discourse, Microsoft and Xbox are now competing with Valve head-on, which in my opinion is an even tougher opponent than Sony or Nintendo. Will they succeed? Only time will tell.